Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. WWE shocked some of their fans with a flurry of releases early last month, including Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Authors of Pain, and Cedric Alexander, among others. It was a combination of rarely used talents, as well as stars who were recently featured on television. However, it's not hard to see Triple H bring back former talents, something he has done since taking over creative. Some of the stars he re-signed were Bray Wyatt, Bronson Reed, Chelsea Green, CM Punk, and Karrion Kross. But are there any recently released stars worth bringing back before the end of the year? Let's take a look at 5 potential stars who were released from September 2024 up to the present, who could return to the company this year. Currently performing on the independent circuit as Bishop Dyer, the man formerly known as Baron Corbin, left WWE on November 1 after his contract expired. Corbin spent 12 years with the company before it was decided that he was no longer needed. Well, that could change, especially with the lack of top male talent in NXT at the moment. Corbin would be the perfect veteran to keep the men's division stable for years. He's also the perfect mentor for the upcoming athletes in the Performance Center who come from a sporting background and have no independent wrestling experience. After being off television for more than a year, Odyssey Jones looked like a star when he finally made his main roster debut last August. However, his stay lasted just a month after allegations of domestic abuse got him released on September 2, 2024. But with the latest information about the case coming to light, Jones has an opportunity to get rehired by WWE. He could be a good foil for the newly turned heels Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. With the New Day's turn slowly losing its steam, Jones might be the injection of energy the story needs. Chase University's Duke Hudson was the first star released in 2025. He has since introduced a new character that has potential. He has begun interviewing himself, presenting a good side and a bad side in a few promos uploaded online that could get unlocked with a proper story. As mentioned earlier, the NXT men's division is lacking in big names. Hudson is not a big name in any way, but his new gimmick has the possibility to be successful. If it can be utilized properly, especially with WWE's production crew, the brand could be looking at one of its top faces or heels. One of the most baffling releases last month was Giovanni Vinci, who had an entirely new character complete with vignettes. However, his booking wasn't off to a great start, with 2 quick losses to Apollo Crews in his first 2 matches. Vinci has already proven that his rich Italian playboy character worked in NXT before he was called up and reverted to his Imperium gimmick. As mentioned a couple of times already, NXT needs to stack up the men's division, and the Italian stallion has the look of a top heel. Blair Davenport languished in the main roster since getting called up in the 2024 draft. Davenport was barely used and wasn't on television for 3 months when she got released on February 7. She's only 28 and has a lot of time left in her career. With the lack of depth in the women's tag team division, maybe Triple H could bring her back as a building block. It takes time and effort to become a tag team specialist, but Davenport is talented enough to make it work. Returning to NXT is not an option since their women's division is quite possibly the deepest among all wrestling promotions. However, she could still be a valuable asset for the company. In the world of professional wrestling, talent acquisition and development are key components in keeping the product fresh and captivating. WWE, under the leadership of Triple H, has undergone significant changes, with a major shift in direction since he took over creative control. The roster has been reshuffled multiple times, with new stars making an impact, while others have either been released or left the company. However, some of those who were released may have untapped potential or could fit perfectly into Triple H's vision for the future of WWE. In this article, we'll explore 5 recently released WWE stars that Triple H should consider rehiring before 2025 ends. These stars have the talent, charisma, and wrestling skills needed to thrive in WWE, and they could play significant roles in the company's future. 1. Braun Strowman. One of the most recognizable names in WWE before his release was Braun Strowman. A towering force in the ring, Strowman became a household name as part of the monster among men gimmick. While his persona was over the top and suited WWE's larger-than-life narrative, Strowman proved that he could also deliver in the ring with a variety of match types, including his memorable encounters in the Royal Rumble and other high-stakes bouts. Why Triple H should rehire Braun Strowman? Triple H has shown an appreciation for powerful and imposing wrestlers, evidenced by the success of stars like Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre under his creative vision. Strowman could be a perfect fit for the WWE landscape under Triple H's direction, particularly in a more strategic and story-driven context. Triple H could put Strowman in high-profile feuds with younger stars who need a large and intimidating adversary to work with. Possible storylines: Monster vs. Monster. Imagine a clash between Strowman and the Colossal Omos. The size and strength of both men would create a thrilling spectacle, with fans tuning in to see how the two powerhouses would interact. Feud with Gunther. The Ring General's dominant reign as Intercontinental Champion could be a perfect target for Strowman, as Gunther's cold, calculating persona would clash beautifully with Strowman's brute force. Strowman is still a top-tier talent, and bringing him back into the fold could provide WWE with a much-needed physical presence that is difficult to find in many of the current top stars. 2. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is, without question, one of the most creative and intriguing characters in WWE history. As The Fiend, he managed to captivate audiences with his unique storytelling, dark gimmicks, and chilling performances. Wyatt's departure from WWE came as a shock to fans, considering the potential he had as a top draw in WWE's future. Despite his creative differences and frustrations with the company, Wyatt's mind for storytelling and his ability to immerse audiences in his world make him a top candidate for rehire. Why Triple H should rehire Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt was a key figure during Triple H's tenure as head of NXT, where he was given the freedom to develop his creative ideas. Triple H understands Wyatt's vision and could work with him to further develop his characters and storylines in a way that would better integrate into WWE's broader creative strategy. With Wyatt's return, WWE could offer a much-needed injection of creativity into its storytelling. Possible storylines: The Fiend's return. The character of The Fiend has always been one of WWE's most psychologically gripping personas. Under Triple H's leadership, Wyatt could return to the character with new elements that would make it more compelling than ever. Feud with Edge or AJ Styles. Both Edge and AJ Styles have seen resurgences in their careers and could be ideal rivals for Wyatt's supernatural character. Their contrasting styles, Edge's gritty, veteran persona and AJ's high-flying finesse, would create a dynamic clash with Wyatt's mind games and psychological warfare. Bray Wyatt could elevate WWE's product to a new level of intrigue with his captivating storylines and ability to reinvent himself. The possibilities are endless for what he could do under Triple H's creative influence. 3. Dakota Kai. As one of the most skilled and dynamic female performers in WWE's NXT division, Dakota Kai quickly became a standout star. Her ability to tell a compelling story, mixed with her high-flying and technical wrestling skills, made her an excellent addition to WWE's women's division. After her release, Kai appeared in other promotions, but she left a mark in WWE that shouldn't be forgotten. Why Triple H should rehire Dakota Kai? Under Triple H's leadership, the women's division has flourished, with stars like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley making waves in the main event scene. Dakota Kai, with her undeniable talent and unique character, could be the perfect addition to the growing roster. Triple H has always had an eye for NXT talent, and Dakota's depth as both a heel and a face would give him a versatile performer who can carry a variety of different storylines. Possible storylines: Feud with Rhea Ripley. Ripley is currently one of the most dominant forces in WWE, and a feud with Dakota Kai could provide a fresh dynamic. Ripley's dominance would be challenged by Kai's unpredictability and high-flying offense, making for a thrilling rivalry. Partnership with Io Shirai. Both women were part of WWE's NXT Women's Tag Team Championship scene, and their chemistry as a duo is undeniable. Bringing them back together on the main roster could add more depth to WWE's tag team division. Kay's inclusion in the main roster would add an exciting layer to the women's division, especially under Triple H's creative reign, where storytelling and wrestling quality take center stage. 4. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. While Sasha Banks has made a name for herself outside WWE under her new persona, Mercedes Moné, it's hard to ignore the history she has with the company. Banks was one of the cornerstones of WWE's women's revolution and played a key role in the development of the women's division. She was involved in historic matches like the first Women's Hell in a Cell and Iron Man matches, and her feuds with Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and Becky Lynch helped establish the modern women's wrestling landscape. Why Triple H should rehire Sasha Banks? Sasha Banks' impact on WWE's women's division cannot be overstated. She was one of the most versatile and talented performers in the company before her departure, and a return to WWE could benefit both parties. With Triple H at the helm, there would be an opportunity to reignite the magic Banks once brought to the company, this time with fresh storylines and rivalries that could further elevate the division. Possible storylines: feud with Bianca Belair. A clash between two of WWE's top female stars would be a dream match for many fans. Belair's athleticism and Banks' ring savvy would create an electric dynamic. Joining or competing with damaged CTRL. There is always the possibility of Banks joining forces with Bayley again, or even squaring off against her former tag team partner in a high-stakes storyline. This feud would allow both women to explore a more complex and emotionally charged angle. Sasha Banks is a top-tier star whose return would shake up the women's division and bring unparalleled experience and storytelling to the forefront. 5. Keith Lee. Keith Lee is one of the most athletically gifted and charismatic wrestlers to ever step foot in WWE. His size, combined with his agility and technical ability, made him a unique asset in both NXT and on the main roster. However, his run in WWE was marred by inconsistent booking and missed opportunities. His release left many fans disappointed, as they believed that Lee had the potential to be one of WWE's top stars. Why Triple H should rehire Keith Lee? Keith Lee's potential was recognized by Triple H during his NXT tenure, where he was given more creative freedom to showcase his talents. Under Triple H's leadership, Lee would have the opportunity to return to his roots and become a top contender in the main roster. Lee's unique combination of strength, speed, and technical wrestling could add a new dimension to WWE's upper card. Possible storylines: feud with Bobby Lashley. Lashley is one of the most physically imposing stars in WWE, and a feud with Keith Lee would be a power struggle between two of the company's strongest athletes. Their chemistry would make for compelling in-ring action and high-stakes drama. Championship run. A feud with stars like Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship would give Lee the spotlight he deserves and establish him as one of the company's top names. Keith Lee could be a major player in WWE, and under Triple H's leadership, he could finally fulfill his potential and become the main event star fans always knew he could be. Conclusion. While WWE's roster is currently stacked with incredible talent, there is a sense that some recently released stars could still bring an enormous amount of value to the product. Triple H, with his vision and experience in both NXT and WWE, could successfully reintegrate these superstars back into the fold, making them key players in the company's future. Rehiring Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Dakota Kai, Sasha Banks, and Keith Lee would not only benefit WWE creatively, but also help elevate the brand in the coming years. By making these moves, Triple H can ensure that WWE continues to provide compelling content that resonates with fans and establishes new stars for years to come. The combination of these talented wrestlers, along with Triple H's direction, would allow WWE to stay ahead of the curve in a rapidly changing wrestling landscape. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.